Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I am now in my third trimester. Actually, I'm almost done with my third trimester, but you know what? It's never too late to document it. I figured I'd go through and do a little pregnancy recap. Let's jump right in. Okay, when is the due date? The due date is May 12th. I am 36.5 weeks, which puts me in my 9th month of pregnancy. How big is baby? Well, they're saying that baby is roughly the size of a head of romaine lettuce, but it's also telling me the baby's probably 18 to 19 inches and 5 to 6 pounds. My baby has been measuring perfectly on target this entire pregnancy. My first pregnancy, I was always measuring like a couple days to a week behind. Gideon was always measuring behind his small kid. Even now, 25th percentile, I'm not worried. If this was 2 or 3 years ago, I would have been a ball of anxiety. Even if this baby is small, fine, great. I have small babies. They're easier to push out that way. But this one is almost smack dab to the day, measuring on target. Baby developments. Baby is head down, which is amazing. They checked 2 weeks ago. According to what to expect, they say that by now, almost all of the organs and everything is mature. My OB said that 37 weeks is full term, which is less than a week for me. Heartburn. Total weight gain. As far as weight gain goes, some weeks I gain nothing, some weeks I gain more than enough to make up for the previous weeks, but when you average it all out, I have been very consistently gaining each week, and there's no concerns with my weight gain. Too much, too little, no concerns with that. And I am pretty much on target to stay in the normal range of what you're supposed to gain through pregnancy. Maternity clothes. They still fit, but barely. I've pretty much gone into my husband's closet because those clothes are fitting better now, even though some of those I'm like, yeah, this doesn't fit me either. Basically, it's leggings and dresses from here on out. Exercise. So, I feel like everything feels like exercise at this point. But once it warms up a little bit more, I'll be outside a lot more. I bend down a lot to pick up toys off the floor. Does that count? Sleep. As far as sleep goes, it's surprisingly decent. I get insomnia here and there, but for the most part, one thing, it is incredibly painful to turn over from one side to the other because in the night I'm in like one position and I get super stiff, and I'm almost in tears at how painful it is just to turn over from one side to the next. And now I'm realizing that the pillows aren't helping so much anymore, so I have this little memory foam pad on my bed, and that's been helping a lot. But at this point, nothing is super comfortable, but I'm still thankful that as of now, I don't get up a ton in the night. I mean, I get up to go to the bathroom, and my toddler also wakes up during the night, but now that my husband's on day shift, that means he sleeps during the night and he gets up with the toddler, which is the best thing ever. Symptoms. For the first trimester, I was nauseous and very tired. The nausea wasn't as bad as the first one, and I didn't throw up as much. I maybe threw up like once or twice. The first pregnancy, I threw up every single day, which is the main reason why I'm 99% convinced that this baby's a girl. Also, we don't know the gender. We find out when the baby is born in a couple weeks. I mean, I had nausea, but the lack of throwing up makes me think it could be a girl. Second trimester was amazing. Pretty much like no symptoms. I forgot I was pregnant on a regular basis. I was no longer tired and sick, and then I wasn't big enough to be uncomfortable. So second trimester was legit the golden trimester. And that brings us to the third trimester, which, you know, third trimester. I would say that waddling is my main form of transportation these days. The pelvic pain is the worst. I've never felt pelvic pain like this before, and I asked my OB about it, and she said that with each baby you carry lower and lower. There's nothing I can do about this pelvic pain. It's painful. Like second trimester, I was already wrapping my belly to like give myself some support, which does help. There's more heartburn. Bending down to pick things up is kind of difficult. I have gone through a couple different grabbers because my toddler thinks that they are a very fun toy and has broken some of them. Oh, thank you, kid. All right, this is mommy's, okay? Also, pregnancy hack. It's hard to bend down, so I got one of these things. Yes, I did. This is my grabber. You can bend down just fine. At this point, I'm like, if something drops on the floor, it's basically dead to me. I definitely get my fair share of Braxton Hicks contractions. Some days they will be every couple of minutes, some days they will be every couple of hours, but they're not real contractions. It's just a good reminder for me to sit and rest and drink lots of water. Like I mentioned before, I have heartburn and indigestion with this pregnancy, and I know the old wives' tale says that means the baby could have lots of hair, but honestly, I have no idea why I have it this one and not the last one. Each pregnancy is different. I passed my gestational diabetes back at week 28, but I am anemic. Today, I have my glucose test. This is probably like my least favorite visit. I am 27 weeks and a little bit more. It's time to take this, and I have to finish this in 5 minutes. It's actually not that bad. Getting really sweet. Whew, it took me 3 minutes to drink that. Definitely don't feel great after that. Let's go get my blood drawn. Just got back from the doctors. I passed my test. My hemoglobin came back and I am anemic, which isn't surprising to me because I was anemic with the first pregnancy too. The doctor said to do an iron supplement. So nice to have that taken care of and over and done with. My swelling's not as bad this time around, but I think in the next week or two, that's when I'll really start to see it. Thankfully, I'm not super crazy exhausted, which is amazing. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm still exhausted and tired, but not the exhausted and tired that I was in the first trimester, you know, the kind that comes from hormones. Oh my word, that was horrible. I'm just tired because like I'm pregnant and I'm running after a toddler. It's nothing like first trimester tired and exhaustion. All right, moving on to food cravings. I don't actually have many food cravings. I didn't have any with my first. I can tell you what sounds really good, like limes and green peppers and cilantro just sounds amazing. Basically fajitas or any type of Mexican food sounds amazing. Other than that, I don't really have any like, ooh, this is what I really need. Basically, it's whatever's not an aversion, I'm totally fine with. Which brings me to the food aversions. First trimester, pretty much everything was a food aversion. Coffee and ramen were the worst. Coffee could not be brewed in this house or I would just get sick. But I have since had ramen and it's totally fine. My husband can make his coffee and I don't get sick. All the aversions are gone. Next one is, what do I miss? Basically, I miss not being in pain if I sit or stand for more than 5 minutes. That's about it. It's really hard for me to rest and take it easy because I'm realizing just how much of my self-worth is tied up in my productivity, and me sitting and resting is not what I equate to being productive. So I'm trying to just shift my mindset and think, okay, I'm, like growing a human. So me sitting and resting isn't just me being lazy. Like I'm providing life for another human being at the moment. So I'm just trying to shift my mindset so that I don't get super down on the days where I can't do a lot. Next question is, what am I looking forward to? Again, not being in pain if I sit or stand for more than 5 minutes. And of course, I'm looking forward to the baby. Like I said, we don't know the gender, so I'm just really excited to find out. I'm excited to meet this little baby. I'm excited to see if this baby looks more like me or my husband. So I'm convinced that we're having a girl. Like my mama feeling went off in the first few weeks after getting pregnant, and I'm like, this is a girl. I just know it. Same with my first pregnancy with my son. I was like, this is a boy. I just know it. Voila, he was a boy. This one, I'm pretty sure she's a girl. We shall see in 3.5 weeks. Give or take 2 weeks. I'm looking forward to seeing how my son interacts with the baby. He's around babies a lot, so I'm not crazy worried about that, but it's completely different when it's your own child, and this one's here to stay. I'm kind of anxious for that transition from 1 kid to 2. Speaking of transitions, we're trying to talk about the transition as much as we can, as much as a 2.5-year-old can understand. We were starting to prep for baby and we were getting all of these things out, and he would be like, what's this? What's this? And my first reaction was, oh, that's for baby, that's for baby. But I try to think of it from his perspective. He's probably getting a little tired of hearing every new cool little toy is for baby. So I'm really trying to take the time and just explain what the item does and how he can help me use it when the baby comes. So one thing that I'm not looking forward to, but I'm just kind of anxious about, is last time around I had postpartum depression that went untreated, and it kind of like turned into PMDD, which I've talked about on my channel here before. I have this thing called PMDD, which is basically a really severe form of PMS. It took about 2 years and 2 pregnancies to recover from that. I'm a little anxious to see how things will go this time around, how my hormones will fare postpartum, but I am more prepared this time, and I'm not afraid to speak up and ask for help. Because I've been in there, I can kind of see the signs, and my husband, he knows the signs too. It's not something that's just gonna get swept under the rug or ignored. All right, next question is differences between my first pregnancy and this pregnancy. With this pregnancy, I have much less anxiety. I don't Google. I would say my pregnancy feels a lot more mild this time around, at least the first 2 trimesters did. My moods and the pain and the nausea and everything felt a lot more mild. 3rd trimester, I do have more pain, or I just forgot about the pain from the first one. Baby is always in my ribs, and with my first one, I never felt my baby in my ribs. But then at the same time, this baby is so much lower. I'm carrying this one so much lower, and so I don't run out of breath as much because my lungs don't feel as though they're compressed. So maybe this baby's just really long or something. So I thought that Gideon moved around a lot, which he did, and he still does. When he was first born, the nurse put him on the weighing table and he almost kicked himself off. The nurse wasn't expecting this baby to be like moving as much, and so she caught him just in time. But like, I could see when I'm laying on the bed, and I can see my baby like kicking himself off of this thing, and it's like, that makes perfect sense because that's exactly what he's been doing for like the last however many months I've been able to feel him kicking. This one moves more. And this pregnancy also feels like it's going by a lot faster. I've barely had any time to document it. Sorry, baby. One thing I'm gonna try and do differently this time around is that I'm gonna try and take newborn photos. I didn't actually take any with Gideon. I have a million photos and videos of him, but not like your stylized ones. Last time around, just so overwhelming when you go from transition of 0 to 1, like you don't know what's going on. Definitely gonna try and do that differently this time around. Milestones. Nesting is in full gear, but I don't feel like I'm nesting. Basically, my anxiety kicked into high gear because I'm like, oh no, we don't have these things ready for baby yet. We're at 36 weeks. And so I'm just like, okay, what's gonna help calm this anxiety? So then I just started doing that. I guess you could call that nesting. My husband submitted his time off. The car seat's installed, the clothes are sorted, the diaper caddies are made and kind of stationed throughout the house. The co-sleeper's almost built. We are here picking out wood to build a little bed for Gideon. I don't want him to sleep in the rock and play anymore. We're gonna build like a little bassinet co-sleeper type thing for next to our bed. We were busy this past weekend because I was like, we need to start getting this stuff ready. I'm feeling pretty good at this point. Pregnancy highlights. In one of our ultrasounds, we got to see like the front face, and the baby looked exactly like me. I'm not even kidding you. My nose and my mouth so prominent. It was so weird looking at this picture because I'm like, that looks like me. And I've never been able to tell that with all the ultrasound pictures we got with Gideon or even the previous ones with this one. I never was able to see, oh, that baby looks like so-and-so. But this one picture, I'm like, that's my nose and that's my mouth, which is like reason number 500 why I think it's a girl. Gideon is so sweet. He will just randomly say something about his baby sister. But then if you say, well, do you think it'll be a girl or a boy? Then he'll say boy. He'll pretty much say whatever one you end on. But he does randomly say something about baby sister. So reason number 501 why I think it's a girl. I'm all about the science, can't you tell? I'm pregnant again, which is awesome. We're headed in for an ultrasound, which I'm almost 8 weeks, 7 weeks. Kind of nervous to go in and see the baby. I'm excited, but also nervous. I've been sick and I just don't want all the sickness to be for nothing. But I'm glad that we're going in so early at like 7.5 weeks versus waiting 20 weeks. Yeah. I am now 13 weeks. Not showing yet. I mean, if you like really look, I do have a bump. I'm carrying a lot higher with this one than I did with Gideon. Above my belly button has kind of exploded. I also think it's a girl. Hello. where did this bump come from? Like, this wasn't here, like, yesterday. Alright, I'm about to announce my pregnancy. I'm excited because I'm just tired of keeping the secret. I just gotta push. I just gotta push it. I just gotta push it. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. I did 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 it. Oops, spelled that wrong. Edit. Done. Here's a little bump. I turn 18 weeks tomorrow. Gideon, what's this? Baby! Gentle! That's right, that's the baby. Is the baby a boy or a girl?
Girl.
A girl?
Yeah.
So I think it's a girl. That's my mama feeling. And I had the mama feeling with Gideon that he was a boy and he's a boy. We'll see. I feel like this one's a girl. Just went to the grocery store and stocked up on a whole bunch of meat. This is, I think, about 75 pounds worth. Because baby's coming in 2 months and I'm trying to make a whole bunch of freezer meals. Non-pregnancy related things. As far as non-pregnancy related things go, I have been working on a special project for the last few months, and that's been really, really good to take my mind off of like the 3rd trimester. I just finished up with that. When I'm immersed in work, I just completely forget about all the aches and the pain. Final prediction. As I've said maybe a million times already, I think that this baby's gonna be a girl. I think this baby's gonna be born with some hair. I do think it will be curly. I think we're gonna be seeing the higher 6-pound range or the lower 7-pound range. I think the baby's gonna be coming no later than 4 days past the due date. I even think it might go a little early, which is crazy because I've just always assumed with all my pregnancies, I'd go at least 1 to 2 weeks late. The whole story behind the 4-day thing, this is how my logic works. Gideon was always measuring a couple days behind, like let's say 4 days to a week behind. Gideon came 4 days late. Therefore, by logic, if this one's measuring right on target, this one should come right on target. That's pretty much how my logic works. I know it's kind of flawed, but you know what? This is what I go with. And also, I'm just kind of hoping that I don't go super late. Once I went over with Gideon, I mean, I was already expecting to. It was still really hard. It was really hard on my body. And I just remember getting home from my 40-week appointment and she's like, yeah, nothing's happening anytime soon, and just crying. And then I went into labor that night. The funny part is that yesterday I had my appointment. I was not dilating, scheduled an induction. Yesterday was really hard because it was like, I really didn't want the induction. So I just like gave up trying all the like natural inducing labor methods I was trying. And then that's of course when I go into labor.
That's how it works.
The day the induction's scheduled.
That's how it works.
I never ever thought that I would be the mom that goes early. I don't want to get my hopes up because then I'll just be very cranky at the end. But a pregnant mom, I can hope. Overall, I would just say that I'm very excited to meet this baby. I was telling my husband the other day, like, I don't think I'm ready. But he's like, are we ever truly ready? Which we're not. So basically, we're just going to take it in strides when it comes. All right, thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. It was so nice to do a 3rd trimester / pregnancy recap of this pregnancy. And it's also really exciting that I'm really close to the end. But now I shall show you my bump. Oh, that stiffness, yep, it's back. I gotta give my body a little bit of time to warm up. This is the 3rd trimester. Here is my 36.5 weeks. And I'll try and take some photos and insert them here. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Also, I would love to know what your predictions are for this baby, so leave a comment down below. Let me know if you think it's a boy, if it's a girl, if it's gonna come early or late. I would love to read your predictions. Hopefully it will come early, but who knows. Anyway, I will see you in the next video. Bye.